Alright gang, welcome back to our competitive one-tile challenge here on Farmlands. It is November, a little bit later start here in November, mostly because, the winter months, the sun comes up a little bit later, so we just wanted to have a little bit more viewing for you so it's not so dark, and we're getting started here. Now, I'm starting the mowing here, but the worker's going to do a good chunk of this as they normally do for us. As you can already tell, I've already started to stack up all of the eggs. We are going to be selling the eggs today. We're actually going to be going to the train. We haven't gone to the train for quite a while, so we will be doing that. A couple other things to note. I'm just going to do the headland pass here since, the worker had some issues last time with the headland, right? Being around too many things in it, and we had to go back and touch up the headlands anyway, so I'm just going to do the headland here at the beginning. But all of you correctly pointed out, many of you correctly pointed out, that we made a little bit too much money off of Rusty's sell point, and you were correct. Now, in the time of doing the recording, I really didn't notice it. I didn't really do the math in my head. I probably should have, but I didn't really notice anything about it. We did both of the last two episodes back-to-back. We recorded them back-to-back, so when I went through the edit for the first one, I noticed it. Obviously, there's not really a whole lot I could do about it at that point, but what I can tell you is that I've removed a bunch of money out of the bank account. As you can see, we had a lot more in the last episode than we do now. I did buy a few things, specifically silage additive, etc., things that we need to buy. But we have significant less than we had. So what we did, myself, along with Crestu, we kind of went the approach of leasing a very, very large piece of equipment and then returning it immediately. So it offset the amount. Now, it's not going to be perfect. We all know that. We've all kind of sold stuff, here and there at that sell point, and a few other sell points that we found out are doing the same similar situation to us. So it's not going to be a perfect, one-for-one exact fix, but it will work, and, we're all agreeing to it, and we're all happy with it. So that's kind of the way we're going to fix it as we move forward here. We're just not going to utilize that sell point. I don't know if Rusty's going to get rid of it or not. I have no idea what his plan is on that, but we're just not going to utilize that sell point anymore. Really, all of us, I know for a fact, Crestu and I and Rusty have all been just looking at the shop and going to wherever the best price is. We weren't really paying attention to were we getting more than we should have on a lot of those sell points. So, it is what it is. There's not really a whole lot we can do about it now, but we tried to at least modify it and make it a little bit more fair by removing some of the money that we did make, by leasing. So that's the way we went about it, and hopefully that works out well. Goods export has great demand. That's good. Hopefully the eggs are still going up. So I'm going to get around the headland here at the end, and then I'm going to throw this on a worker. The worker can complete the rest of this. In the used market, there is a lot of options out there. I don't know if we're going to pick up any of them or not. I would love to have one of these balers. I've talked about upgrading our baler for quite a while, but as you can see, the money's not quite really where it needs to be yet right now for us to be able to buy that. Now, once we sell these eggs and once we turn on the selling of the digestate and the methane, electric charge, etc., we'll have a bit of a different story. What I will tell you, though, is I accidentally forgot to turn on the production for the digestate. I had it off because obviously we incur fees and stuff overnight if we're not utilizing it. I forgot to turn it back on from the last episode, so we didn't make a whole lot of money from the last episode to now, but that's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. We are still going to be fine. We have to harvest the sugar beets today. There's quite a lot, honestly, to harvest for the sugar beets. It's going to take us quite a while to do that. That's going to be the big bulk of what we need to do today. But I want to get the worker mowing this field, mostly because we are going to need to move some of this grass over specifically to the goats. I think the sheep might be okay, but we probably should throw a little bit in the sheep as well. Because we're just, obviously we're running out. We're also going to need to get some food for the chickens. As you can see, they're down to 1,791 liters of food. I did move all of the wheat over that we had in storage into that, and they chewed through almost all of that almost immediately. So, we're going to have to deal with that as well. We've got a couple other things we can sell today, too, potentially. The canola oil is best to sell today, and as a matter of fact, I kind of want to look and see where we will be taking the canola oil to, because if it is the train, we might as well, stack them up here with the eggs and do it in one trip. Well, actually, I guess canola oil is technically next month. I swear when I looked at it last month, it said it was November, but evidently it's December. But Goods Export has 2116. It is still going up, but, nonetheless, it is something we could potentially do and sell right now. Eggs, 100%. They are dropping at the goods export, so we need to get there. So, yeah, let's see. I don't know. I kind of feel like we should sell the canola oil, too, right now while we're at it. I think it just makes sense. It is best than the average best price. There's no guarantee it's going to go higher than that, even though it's still going higher right now. But there's no guarantee that it won't drop, right, next month. There's no guarantee about it. So... yeah, I think we just try to knock out two birds with one stone here, if you will, and go ahead and do that too. So let's go pick up the canola oil. Okay, please start. Thank you. What was going on there? Now, one of the guys may get to some of those things in the used market, because those are some pretty nice items. And really, for us, we would love to have those upgrades, but I need to get the remaining things we need to take care of the sugar beets, right? I've talked about this for a while. I've also talked about how I'm probably going to get rid of most of the baling type of stuff that we have in favor of something else that we're going to be doing that we can utilize for both the grass and for the sugar beets. So that's more than likely where we're going to go with this. So we'll see, but, you know, as much as I would love to have those, and I talked about it earlier on in the season, or the series, I should say, you know, given the fact that we kind of shifted gears a little bit and went towards sugar beets, I just think it makes financially more sense for us to utilize something that we can use for both of them versus having two separate types of equipment, if that makes sense, right? Okay, so there's still a bunch of canola oil in here, so we'll keep pulling this out so we can keep bringing more out of here. So this is going to be a nice payday here of pallets right here. It's going to be a huge payday, as a matter of fact. Now, I did check all the other pallets. We might go ahead and sell the marmalade as well today, because it was best to sell last month, right? So we might go ahead and sell that today as well. But other than that, everything else we're probably going to be storing until December, January. It's going to be the best time to sell those. So, big money's coming. We're going to make big money off of this, but even bigger money is coming here very, very soon, especially with that insect flour. That insect flour is going to be massive. We've got a lot of insect flour in there. And I think the number of greenhouses we have right now is probably about as good as you can get for the insect flour. It's not perfect, but whatever. Now, we have the machine for the sugar beets. We luckily got it in the used market that picks up, you know, the beets off the ground or puts them in a pile or whatever. We still need to get the topper. We got to get that. So it's you know, it's not outrageously expensive, but it's something. So we need to get the topper. We can get the tops off of them, and then we can utilize that machine we bought used to kind of stack them up on the ground. And then it's going to be part 3 of my plan for the sugar beets, which, again, is probably going to be the shift we're going to have when it comes to doing grass as we move forward here. Now, I am going to double-check everything before we leave here. I don't, you know, I told you what I said, but I don't want to look at it, and if there's something that's still a really good price, since we're already going up there, we might as well bring it with us, right? I've got a couple of the marmalades there. I don't know exactly when it's best to sell those, but we'll take a peek here. Well, I do know. It was last month. I mean, I don't know if it's still going to be best to sell them is really what I was trying to say. Just didn't say it properly. Also, we can look at the aged goat cheese, too. That might be something to consider. Prickly pear marmalade. It is dropping significantly. It cannot go up to the train, so there's no good export for that. So we will probably sell it, but we'll sell it somewhere a little bit closer to home. Do we have any aged goat cheese in here? I would assume we do. We do. We have 2 liters of aged goat cheese. There's more goat milk to move over. I might as well just do that real quick while we're at it. Not much, but there's some. All right. There's very little. It's not going to make another one. So we've got those 2 pallets we could technically take with us. Now, I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think the aged goat cheese can go there either. It cannot. Okay. So we'll maybe move the marmalade and the aged goat cheese somewhere a little bit more local here. As we go along. But let's head on up to the train. We have not been to the train in a very, very long time, so this will be a nice little trip to go by our friends here and see what they're up to. We haven't really pride on what they've been doing for a while here. I'm not seeing a whole lot of major changes right now from Rusty's point of view. She's got a lot of wool here. I'm gonna have a little fun with that. There you go. Have some fun. Take care of your wool. But yeah, I don't see anything else on his farm that has changed. Oh, that's a whole... Oh my goodness, that is a lot of silage. Holy cow. It doesn't tell me how much is in there, but that is a boatload of silage. Holy smokes. What is our friend Crustu up to? We have not been over in Crustu's land for a long, long, long time. What has he got going on over here? We knew about the BGA. His trees are starting to grow a little bit, but man, that is a very slow process for him to get those trees going. What else we got over here? We knew about all this. That's no different. He moved some things around a little bit, but overall... Oh, he's got 2 wood greenhouses now. Ooh, that's big money maker right there. That is a huge money maker for him. Not a bad setup over here. I kind of like it. Yeah. Whoop, I'm just going to run right into his building. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Like I said, make sure you check out their channels. Links to their channels are down below. Watch their videos. Give them some support. All that good stuff. I'm sure you are. But in case you stumbled across this and are not, check them out as well. You'll get a little more detailed explanation and what they're doing here. This is a really large grass field he's got going here. Looks like every one of us are kind of heavily going towards grass now. I think I scared the poo-poo out of both of them earlier on. Eggs can keep disappearing there. That's a little weird. All right, so the ever-treacherous bridge here. We've got to be very careful not to go over it. I should have the beacons on here, but not to go over the edge of the water. You have not seen me go over the edge of the water, but I have. It was off camera. I was doing off-camera work. It was a while ago. And to be fair, we haven't gone to the train really probably since around that time period anyway. So, this will be big money. Real big money. But, and as much as I would like to get these balers, not going to happen. Not going to happen. We're going to go the approach I talked about, which means we're likely going to be selling our baler today. So, what'll likely happen today, honestly, is I'm actually going to probably bale with the baler we have, and then after that we can sell it and get a little bit of money back. We can also sell our auto-loading trailer at that point, too. It'll all make more sense when you see what I'm talking about. Everything that I'm wanting to do here, it's not a cheap process. It's pretty expensive. Now, as long as we get the sugar beets up out of the ground and just, you know, in a row, it's not a big deal if I don't get them all picked up today. I plan to, but if for some reason we run out of time and we don't get it done, it's not a big deal. We can wait and get those up in the next episode. Not going to be a problem. Not going to be a problem at all. How's everyone doing, man? Hope you're all doing well. Pretty good, man. All things considered. Triple Threat Challenge. Just some real quick tidying up some of the things that are going on in the channel. Triple Threat Challenge coming out likely either tomorrow or Monday. This will be out Thursday, so it'll either be tomorrow or Monday. Do I have my mic on? Nope, I don't. I don't know why that popped up. That was weird. So, look forward to that. I think it's going to be extremely successful and extremely exciting. I took a lot of the input that all of you had and, you know, tried to incorporate as much of that as I could. Yeah, this is not the most perfect sell point here, is it? All right, so there's 29 there, but we still have another half a thing here to sell. All right, that got us up to 70. That's real good. It's still not quite where we need to be at, as a matter of fact. I didn't turn the BG on. I should have turned the BG on already, but we didn't. Most of the silage got through it, so it's not a big deal. But as you can see, we've got a lot of electric charge. Not too much methane, unfortunately, but a lot of electric charge. The digestate, we've got a lot of that as well. I have turned it back on to distributing. I think the fertilizer plant is almost maxed out again, so we're going to turn off the distributing of the digestate. And then I think digestate is best to sell next month, I think. Let's just double check that statement here. There it is. It is next month. However, there are some where we can sell it for 36 right now. But I think I'd rather just sell it at, you know, one of the main spots. So we might hold on to it, although the farmer's market is dropping, so maybe we should consider selling that today too. But it's going to take a lot of trips to sell that digestate, though. There's a lot of digestate, as you saw. I mean, that's a lot of digestate, man. 330,000 liters of digestate? That's a lot of digestate, man. Now, I could just put it on auto-selling, and as a matter of fact, we might end up just doing that. You know what? You know what? We're gonna do it. We're just gonna put it on. We're just gonna put it on selling. Why not? We'll put everything on selling. So when 11 o'clock hits, we're gonna have a big, massive payday coming our way. Okay, so they didn't buy it. I don't think they bought that tractor. That was there in the last episode. They would have bought it then if they wanted it. I think it just dropped off the sell point or the used sell market. So we need to get the topper. It's like a home topper type of thing. But I think it's part of the Gillies pack. We don't need the big, large one. We really don't. We're only going to have that one small field. Alright, so let's just go to here. We have this already. This is what we bought used. So we got to buy this, which is 30,000. Alright. That's taken care of, so we need to go pick that up at the shop. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Well, I was going to say, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. But I think we'll head back. We'll pick up the marmalade. We'll pick up the aged goat cheese. We can go sell that. And then we can pick up the front of that. So we can kind of try to kill two birds with one stone, if you will, a little bit. Since we're going to be selling it somewhere in that range down there by the shop anyway. Probably be a little bit smarter. Now, we don't have a ton to do today. Well, we do, but we don't really have that much to do, not in comparison to what we had in the past. Not even close. Just drive right through them. Okay, so, yeah, let's pick up that stuff. I'm going to put the front loader on, but let's pick up that stuff. We'll throw it on here. We can go sell it. Man, look at how big this grass field is he's got going here. Pretty awkward down here. I think he's going to put something down here eventually. Is the worker stuck? No, they're still going. Okay, good. They're just taking longer than I expected them to take. So 11 o'clock hits, I expect we are going to have an absolute boatload of money. More than likely, we are going to be spending whatever it is that we need to spend for the sugar beets that's remaining. That I'm kind of being very, how do I want to put it? How do I want to word it? I'm being very secretive about what it is. Can we please attach? Thank you. I hit A like 5 times and it wouldn't do anything. And what was going on there? But I'm being relatively secretive about this, and there's, like I said, a couple of reasons why. So let's grab these. There we go. This isn't perfect. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's only 2 pallets. I'm not that concerned about it. They're just going to be moved up on top here and sold. There we go. I'm going to leave... I should be able to work it like this if I do this. I should still be able to attach something in the front. I was going to say, I think I'm going to leave this on just in case. We've had issues in the past where we weren't able to get the aged goat cheese off. Depending on where we're going to sell this at, I need to look again and see where the best spot is. But probably smart for me to have this on here, as a matter of fact. Clothes aren't going to be good anytime soon. We probably need to move some more of those pallets out of the way there of the crickets. They are going to be best to sell, I think next month. So we're going to have a lot to sell next month because we've got them all in the storage, and then we're going to have all of these that are spawning here. Now, we actually did a pretty good job, I think, with the insect mill. It's pretty much maxed out there, right? But we're kind of keeping up with it. So it might have periods of time where it's a little bit too many crickets going, maybe. You know, but I guess we'll figure that out as we move along. Now, other thing to talk about that we haven't talked about yet. The manure situation in the BGA. Still not quite sure why that's happening. Somebody mentioned that maybe it's because it's too close to the BGA, and you might be right. That might be what it is. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is it's not working still, so we're probably just going to have to kind of, you know, play it by ear a little bit. Let me turn that off. We don't need that anymore. We're going to have to probably play it by ear a little bit and maybe just work on the manure towards the end of the series when we decide to get rid of the cows, right? Speaking of the animals, they have reproduced. The pigs have, at least. We've got a lot more pigs now, a lot of adult pigs. We've got a lot more chickens again. Everything's doing well as far as the animals go, honestly. The cows aren't reproducing. We're just going to have to buy more cows. We've already talked about that. We really know that it's going to be a long time before they're ready to reproduce, and what I'll probably end up doing is selling 12 of them right before the first 12 that we put in are ready to reproduce, right? Try to time that as best I can. I'll probably forget, but we're going to try to time that as best I can here. All right, a little 17,407. That's not great, but it's not terrible. You know, we'll take it. We'll take it. We're going to be waiting a long, long time for that aged goat cheese to be good again, so we might as well get a little bit of money out of it. All right, that did not go exactly as I planned there. All right, so 57,000. That's not quite enough money for what we need to do for the sugar beets, so we are going to have to wait till 11 o'clock hits, but that's only 3 minutes away. So, and we're not going to need it until we've got all the sugar beets up off the ground anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now, in theory, I should be able to do the topping and lifting them up off the ground in the same pass. I should be. So we'll kind of test that theory out here in a minute. Like I said, I actually have never done sugar beets. I know basically what I'm supposed to be doing, but I've never done them, so we'll find out here. So I'm going to leave this here, probably in the way, as always. But we're going to leave it here anyway. And then I'm going to drop this off the front here. Nope. There you go. And then I'm going to drop this off. 1 minute. Big money's coming. There it goes. I was like, what is happening? It didn't give me anything. There it goes. That's what I'm talking about, baby. 228. That's what I'm talking about. We could pay off the loan right now if we really wanted to. Honestly, we probably should be focusing on that. I know Rusty paid his loan off finally. But I really wanted to get that windmill, which you can't see from this angle, but I really wanted to get that windmill in. I really, really did. Alright, so we'll see how this goes. If it's a little bit too much for it, we might just have to do it in 2 different passes, right? Okay, let's see how this goes. Let's hope for the best here. It should work. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Didn't want to go too far, killing too much if it doesn't working. Oh yeah, we're golden, baby. We are moving. All right, sweet. So let's turn on the GPS here, or the steering assist. It's a slow process, very slow process, but you know what? I'm extremely happy right now. I'm extremely happy. This is my secret key to success. Whoops, sorry again, hit the microphone. It's my secret key to success here. This is, I think this is going to be a big payday. I think it's going to be a big payday for us. Obviously, you're going to have to put it into the BGA, but nonetheless, it is going to be a big payday. A big, big payday. So let's turn these back off here. Just to store. There you go. And then we can turn the silage back on. This is going to be great, man. It's going to be great. So, now that we have that, let's talk about what we're going to do to pick this up. So, what my plan is here is I'm going to be buying... Oh, what's it under? I think it's under belts. The Forge Pickup. I've used this in the past. It's a fantastic machine. It will, or it should work, I think. Actually, now that I'm seeing that, maybe it won't work. Oh, yeah, there it is. Sugar beets. Perfect. It's like, wait a minute. I swear it would work. So, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to kind of shift gears and buy this. It's obviously not cheap, $65,000, right? But we're going to shift gears and buy that. This will also allow us to pick up the grass from the ground. Now, the only difference here is that we will need to do windrowing again. I actually enjoy windrowing, so it's not really a problem for me. But we will need to do windrowing if we're going to go the approach of utilizing this for grass. Right? We are going to have to. So, kind of tells you where we're at and where we're likely to be going next. So long as everything works out like I'm hoping for. And the nice thing about this is it puts them in a nice windrowed area. And it spits the top portion that we don't want over to the right side, so kind of keeps it mostly out of the way of the windrowed path there, right? So we got a lot to do. This is going to take us a while. As you can clearly see, it is a slow process here, but yeah, let's get to work getting this going, and then once we're done, we'll buy that pickup, and we'll get started lifting these up off the ground and thrown into our trailer. All right, well, we're moving along nicely here, gang. We've got a little bit still left to go. Seems like we're getting a relatively good yield out of this, a good harvest out of this, but we really don't know until we start picking them up, right? But yeah, so I've had a lot of ideas about the sugar beets itself, right? Should I cut them? Should I not cut them? I don't know. I think at this point, I'm not going to cut them. I'm just going to deposit them directly into the BGA. I might give a tiny bit to the pigs, maybe. Although, realistically, I'll probably just end up continuing to buy the food for the pigs at this point. Oop, I did not know we stopped. Whoops. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But more than likely, this is all just going to go directly into the BGA. The only reason I was considering cutting them was typically you would get a little bit more at a sugar beet cut. But you're not getting, as far as the actual recipe itself, you're not getting more electric charge or digeste for having them cut. It's just the fact that if you cut them, you typically get a tiny bit more out of your sugar beets, right? So that would be the only bonus, would be getting that little bit more out of the yield of the sugar beets itself. But yeah, I'm not 100% positive yet what I'm going to do there. Like I said, more than likely we're just going to deposit them directly, but I'm going to think on it a little bit more and see what I come up with, I guess. But yeah, we're cruising, man. We are cruising. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was a whole lot faster for me to kind of go down the middle and make, you know, multiple different sections here. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's just a very slow process. If I pick them up, obviously I can turn a little bit better, but it's still pretty slow. I think this tractor is kind of pushing its limits to do what we're doing here, which... That's fine. I don't really care that much that it's pushing its limits. It's working, so that's really the only thing I can care about. So, while all that's happening, let's go ahead and buy this. You know, I don't really know what color I want to make it. I guess that's vulture green. I would have thought that would have been Kloss green. Okay, well, no, there's Kloss green. Okay. I guess we can go Kloss green to kind of match our tractor, because that's the one we're going to be utilizing for it, right? So 65,000. It's not cheap. Not cheap at all. So at least it was the 163,581. In regard to some other things that we can do, I'm going to turn that off. We're just wasting money there. Wool's still going, so we're good there. We can turn that off. That should be fine. It's just not keeping up very well. I think I'm going to put a third prickly pear cactus down it because it's having a hard time, or they're having a hard time keeping up with the production. So I think I'm going to put another one down to try to help beef that up a bit. Fertilizer plant, we've got 16,000 liters in there. It's nothing crazy. There's plenty of digestate in there. That's why I turned off the digestate, transferring over to that. We're still chewing through some of the grass that it was already in there. So that'll be nice. We've got all of that grass there, which, again, some of it is going to go into our troughs for our animals because we're getting ready to be in the winter months here. They are going to need some food. The meadow grass is going to stop growing. As a matter of fact, I think the goats probably already need some. If they don't, it's going to be pretty close. The reason why I'm saying I think they already need some is because I'm almost positive they have like 2,000 liters of meadow grass left, and they will chew through that between now and the next month. 1,000% that will be gone. So definitely need to top that up. Obviously, we could go just buy some grass if we really wanted to, but I think personally I would prefer to utilize it from our own fields. Save a little bit of money that way. Man, I love that windmill. I love having that windmill there. I wanted that since we started the series. I wasn't sure if it was going to actually happen after we started moving along, but I'm happy we got there. So we have $163,000. It's not a ton of money, but you know what? It is a decent amount of money. What are we going to do with some of this? Well, we're going to pay off another $100,000 of the loan right now. It's going to put us down to only $100,000 of the loan remaining, which is fantastic. Perfect. So at least there's a $63,581. Still plenty of money in case something does come in the used market that we just cannot live without. You know, I've really considered buying another tractor like the one we have now. but I just don't think we really need it. I think the worker can utilize the Mercedes-Benz perfectly fine, and I just don't think we need a third tractor at this point in the series. So, nice to have it, just not really the most financially sound purchase there. Same with the wheel loader. Love to have that as well, but again, we really don't need it. I pretty much think I have us set as well as I can for the remainder of the series here, right? We're going to be doing another harvest of the sugar beets. That field over here to our immediate left, the way that I'm looking right now, that will probably continue to be some kind of a wheat, sorghum, barley type of field. This one over here will probably continue to be a canola oil, or a canola field for canola oil, more than likely. Need that fertilizer production to amp it up, man. I really wanted it to be faster than it was. I could put more down, I guess. I guess that's another perspective we could have went instead of just selling the digestate outright, but it just seems a little overkill doing that. So, but we made a lot of money, man, so I can't really complain about how much money we made. We made a lot of money, right? We made a lot of money. I'm going to turn that off for right now just because it's, you know, we're just wasting money. Might as well let more silage get over there before I turn it back on. Now, a couple things to talk about here. So, we have 22,000 liters of slurry we can move over. We have not purchased any of that stuff yet. I've talked about that for a couple of episodes now, so we probably should spend some money on that today as well. So, let's go ahead and get started there looking at some of that stuff while we're in the process here of finishing this up. Slurry tankers are up here, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Okay, so what do we got here? 3.28. It's probably going to be this one for me, which I think is the one that all the guys are using. You know, I sometimes like to change it up, but honestly, this is probably our best bet here for the slurry, in my opinion. So let's buy that. And then we also need a tanker for milk. And now we can make a modification to the one we have and upgrade that to one that can do both milk and water. At current, the one we have only does water. We need one that can do both. So there are some other options here for us. I don't want to spend all of our money, because I don't think we really need a massive one. I mean, we've got a small amount of cows, right? They're producing milk for us, don't get me wrong, and I'm very excited about it, but we're not making as much as the other guys are when it comes to the cows, right? So, in my opinion, I think it's almost a bit of a waste of money for us to spend a ton of money on a massive tank. I just don't think that makes sense. So I think the best bet for us would probably be to go one of these, right? Probably this one. This one evidently allows, well, I guess it is a little bit bigger. Never mind. But this one allows pretty much everything. You can do oil. You can do everything on this. Obviously, we wouldn't do that, but you can. This one is significantly cheaper. It only has 2,000 liters, though. This one, oh, that's only oil, gas, methane, water. This one is super inexpensive, and it's 3,200. So I don't know why you would buy that one when it has 2,000 liters. This has 3,000 liters. That doesn't even make any sense. Why would you not? Why would you not purchase this one for significantly cheaper? So how much milk do we actually have right now? Well, you know, we know how much slurry we got, but how much milk do we have? This should show me in here, right? Milk. 6,000. So we don't really have that much milk, and I suspect we're not going to have a ton of milk. Again, we don't have tons of cows. We really don't. So I think, given that understanding, I'm not going to sell our other water tank. I think I'm just going to buy this one. And we'll make it milk. So I guess it can be white to kind of fit in with the milk theme, I guess. It's a little bright, but you know what? We'll go with it. Cost me a little bit more for the wide tires, but you know I love my wide tires. I got to have them whenever I can, and that's fine. It's only $100 more, $150 more, whatever it was. Need to get some gas for the tractor here. As you can tell, we are getting a little low. But we are actually on our final pass now, which is a fantastic thing to have, honestly. I was a little concerned with how slow we were going, that we might not get the field done, but it turns out we're going to. We've got about, near it makes no difference, 20-25 minutes left on the recording here before the guys said they were going to be close to being done. They might even be done earlier than that. Some of them said they didn't have as much to do. We have obviously had a lot to do here for the last couple of episodes in a row, and it's kind of continuing here. Obviously, this is not tons to do. It just has taken longer because this is a slow process to get these sugar beets picked up off the ground. Now, picking them off, well, I say picked up off the ground, lifted up on top of the ground. Picking them up off the ground shouldn't be too bad. It really shouldn't. That forage pickup, it's not unrealistic. So, I mean, we're going to have to go down to each one of these paths, right? It's not like we're going to be able to pick up 2 or 3 at a time or anything like that, but we still have the grass and stuff over there we have to pick up as well, so we've got some things still we need to do today. Honestly, more than likely what I'm going to do is when we're done with this, I'm going to flip over. We're going to get all of the bales, the grass bales done and then picked up and put on the trailer. Then I can set a worker off on doing the rolling over there, and then we can pick up the remainder of the sugar beets ourselves at that point and go to the shop and pick up everything else that we bought. I think that's probably the smartest approach right now, because we won't be able to utilize a worker on the, well, we could have on harvesting the sugar beets, but we won't be able to utilize a worker on picking them up off the ground the way that we're going to go about it. I don't think I would necessarily want to have a worker do this either, because it would cost me an arm and a leg, given how slow it would take them to pick it up every single time to get to the end, drop everything back down. It would just take a long time. So I think this is something I need to do personally the entire time. All right, that is done. So I'm going to fold this up, and then what I'm going to do, whether this makes a difference or not, I'm just going to kind of hit the very, very edge here and just make sure that I didn't miss anything on the corner. I think I missed something right here, I think. Nope, guess not. Okay. Alright. Alright, so this is all done. I did not say unfold. What are you doing? Now, I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff. We are running out of room, man. We need a shed or something. We need to take up some more space here. We are running out of room, and we are running out of room quickly. I've done relatively well up to this point to try to keep everything very much tight-knit, but we are struggling for room now. I think what I'm going to do is put this stuff over here in front of the cricket production. Nope, not that one. There we go. Perfect. And then we'll just flip this guy around here and stick it here, and that'll be a pretty decent spot for it, I think. Because this isn't going to be used all that much, and this is kind of out of the way. So, it's a good spot for it to be. Alright, perfect. So, let's, well, we've got to go around. We still have to do headland passes, man. They still miss stuff. Dang it. I don't think I can, though. I was going to say, maybe I can set a worker off on doing this. I just don't think it'll work. I think we tested this already. Never mind. Ignore everything I'm saying. I know we've tested it. I know it didn't work in the past, but, you know, with the changes and things that have been made, I was like, maybe. It doesn't. It doesn't work. Ignore me. Now, if you haven't watched brand new series that came out from Crustu, who's doing this challenge with me, I highly recommend it. It's the Island Preservation Challenge. I started it. First 2 episodes were rough episodes for me. I did not start the way that I probably should. And then 3rd episode on, I really started to gain some ground there and get my feet under me, if you will. Extremely happy with that. Had a lot of fun with it. Check it out if you haven't done so. Right now it's coming out, I don't know, 2 times a week, somewhere around in that range, sometimes 3 times a week, something like that. But we've been having a lot of fun with that. There you can see the pigs, they've grown up. They're not little baby pigs anymore, as you can see. They're a lot larger now, so they're going to be producing a lot more. Eating a lot more, too. Alright, this is pretty much it. We just gotta hit this little section here. Probably wasn't gonna really make that big of a difference, but we hit it anyway. Perfect. I'm just going to use the Mercedes-Benz here. We haven't used it in a while, so I'm just going to use it for this. I don't think the Mercedes-Benz is going to work for the roller, though. And we still have so much here when it comes to square bale twine that it just, I mean, you know, I could go the approach of what I just talked about, right? Just sell all this stuff and get the windrower, etc., but I just think at this point we really should try to utilize as much of the twine as we can, and then after this one I would suspect we're going to be pretty low on the twine, and at that point I'd be fine to go ahead and sell this, right? Will mean we'll have to buy some kind of a windrower, as I mentioned, but I really like windrowing, so that doesn't really bother me that much. I'm not sure which one I will buy. They're all relatively expensive. It's probably going to be this one. This is one that we've used already. It's one of my favorites. It's a fantastic width. It's not outrageously expensive. It's really the best bet, best bang for your buck. You also have this one too, which very similar in price and very similar in width. So either one of those are honestly perfectly fine to use. Oh, and I'm missing stuff. Of course I am. Whoops. Don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be missing anything here. Alright, there we go. Alright, get back on the groove here. So, we've got to get the rest of this done. I guess I mentioned. Shouldn't take us too long to do this. And then we'll head up to the shop. And then pick up all the stuff that we bought there. And we'll get started on doing the sugar beets. I may not end up picking up all of the bales off the ground here. Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to because I really want to roll this field, right? We need to roll this field because we want that extra layer of fertilizer out of it. Now, it might not be... Does it grow in December? I think December is when the grass stops growing, right? I think it's December. I think it's December, January, February. I don't think it grows for those 3 months. So we may have extra time here to roll this, and we may not necessarily have to do it today. And I guess worst comes to worst, we could put solid fertilizer down, right? But we're trying to save ourselves every buck we can. And, yeah, I don't know. I might end up just rolling this off camera, like we did the last episode. We rolled that field all the way down there. The other grass field we put in, we rolled that off camera. I might just end up doing the same thing here, because we're just going to run out of time. I already know we are. I always feel like we don't have a ton to do sometimes when we start these, and then when you start getting into it and how long it takes to do some of this stuff, then you're like, yeah, well, I did run out of time. We did have a lot more to do than I thought. And it looks like already Crust 2's already done, even though technically we have another 10-15 minutes before, you know, the earliest we should be done. But he says he has lots to do, so I'm going to keep going. We definitely want to try to at least start getting those sugar beets up off the ground. I'd like to get those into the BGA, since I've kind of made the decision here on a whim to not to cut them. But even if it was to cut them, it's going to cost a lot of money to put down some kind of production to do that. It's not cheap. So I'm not sure if we would get our money back. You know, that's what it's all about at this point in the series, right? With only just slightly, counting next month, slightly over a year remaining, in-game year remaining on this series. It's more about, if you're putting something down at this point, it needs to make you money. And especially with how much you're going to lose when you go back to sell it, right? Because you're going to lose about half. So you got to make sure the amount of money you're making is more substantial than what you're going to lose when you go to sell it at the end of the series. So I'm just not quite sure we would get that out of 2 sugar beet harvests. So yeah, we're just going to put it directly into the BGA. Alright, so we are underway here. I went ahead and started the worker on doing the rolling. Evidently that it does work with that Mercedes. Maybe we used it in the past. I honestly forget. But anyway, it's working, so we'll take it. And we're underway here now picking up the sugar beets. And as you can clearly tell here, we've only gone down one pass here, and we're almost full in our trailer. Now, to be fair, our trailer's only a little over 20,000 liters, I think. 21 is what it looks like. So, but still, that's a lot of sugar beets, man. That is a lot of sugar beets. If we look at the BGA here real quick, just to kind of round this out a bit. Sugar beets in the BGA, 100 sugar beets will start producing quite a bit for us. So that's a lot. It's a lot that's going to be coming. And we also have the grass that we put in. Now, I did save some grass, as I mentioned. I didn't put it into the troughs or anything yet for the animals. I probably am going to end up doing that off camera a bit. I am running out of time. The guys are both done. So I just want to drop off one load here of the sugar beets, and then I can do the remainder of this either off camera or hopefully the next episode, right? More than likely I'll do it off camera, I would suspect. Now maybe I should have made the forge pick up here our universal colors we've been utilizing, but I just wanted to match the cloths, so I changed it up a bit. But I probably should have made it the olive. Well, I don't know, it's not really olive, I guess. Just like a dark forestish type of green, and then like the tan color. I guess I should have made it that. Army green and tan, but, you know, whatever. I guess we can change it later, potentially. Okay, so we need to unload this, so let's dump that. Perfect. Now, we can go ahead and get the BGA started with the sugar beets. And yeah, it's going to start producing quite a bit for us. So this is good, man. So there you go. That's my plan. This is what the plan will likely eventually turn to with the grass. Although, as you saw, we still have plenty of twine. So maybe not. I mean, I might as well keep utilizing it, I guess, until we run out of it. I mean, I'm just wasting money otherwise. So, but as I mentioned, we will continue on here, and yeah, we'll see if I finish the rest of this off camera or if I do it in the next episode. We'll see. But we're going to continue on, and since the guys are done, I'm going to be done as well. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. They are free to do. They help me out an absolute ton. If you want to become a member on the channel, you do get early access to videos like this one. I cannot thank my members enough for their continued support. Quite a few new members that joined recently, so thank you to them as well. There's a Discord link down below. If you're interested in that, you can share your progress. Check out anything that I share, regardless if it's on this channel or my second channel, which is also linked down below. If you're interested in seeing what I'm doing that's not Farming Simulator. And yeah, I think with that, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time.